Hey everyone, welcome back to the Endo Projects channel. So I thought I would come in here and do my endometriosis story because I promised on Twitter that I would do my story this weekend. And since I have a few minutes alone, I thought I would go ahead and bang it out even though I don't feel like it. So basically in this video, I'm going to tell you how I got to my diagnosis and what happened. So around my 26th birthday, it was the weekend after my 26th birthday. And I was laying in bed. I will never forget this. I was laying in bed and I felt some pressure, like in my ovary area, in my lower abdomen. I felt it wasn't pressure, it was like cramping, like a weird cramp that I had never felt before. And so I just assumed that I was starting my cycle. Okay, my period is coming. So this started the week before, 2 weeks before, when the cramping started. So I just assumed, okay, my period is starting. I'm not gonna, whatever. So as the days went on, it persisted. It never stopped. Like prior to that, my normal menstrual cramps, they would come and then they would go, and they, intermittent, come and go, come and go. Well, this lingered. It never stopped. Okay, so that went on for like 4 or 5 days. So then I get to the weekend, and this is the weekend after my birthday. I get to the weekend and I'm like, okay, this cramping is not stopping and it's getting stronger. So I got up and I went to the emergency room. It was August 2nd of 2005, I believe, or something like that. So, okay, I get up and I go to the emergency room. I know for a fact it was August 2nd. And so I remember because I had on a white tube top and a mini skirt. I was cute. And it was cold as hell in the emergency room. And I'm like, oh my God, whatever. I couldn't find nowhere to park. Let me tell y'all how desperate I was to get in the emergency room. I left the house so quickly that I left my wallet with my money in it. So I didn't have any money to park. Like, I just grabbed one wallet out of my purse that had my ID and stuff, not taking my entire purse. This is how eager I was to get out of the house. So I get to the emergency room only to realize, oh my God, I left my cash at home. I can't pay to park. Everywhere on the street was full. So I parked on the grass across the street from the hospital. If you live in Detroit, St. John, you know what I'm talking about. So that's where I parked. And I went in, I'm like, please don't let them tow my car. But it was other cars, parked there. So I'm like, I'm safe. So I went in, okay, I'm sitting, I'm waiting. Mind you, I would go to St. John. I never had to wait like 45 minutes, an hour. Not St. John was a really good hospital then. So it's like, okay, fine. So this particular day, I'm like waiting. It's like an hour and 10 minutes. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm cold. I'm just cramping, won't stop. What is really going on? So when I finally get back there, I'm telling them, I'm cramping, it won't stop, it's been going on for like almost a week now, it was like day 6 by then, and they were like, well, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. So the doctor, they took your information, they go out, and it was like an hour or two before they came back. I'm like, not me. If anybody know me, I don't have patience. Especially when I'm in pain, I'm not about to sit here and wait. So I left. That was on a Sunday, I want to say, because the next day I called my primary care physician and I'm like, oh my God, you gotta help me. First of all, let me say I called my gynecologist. She was the one that told me to go to the emergency room and talk about she don't have pain medication in her office. What? That don't even make. We'll deal with that in another video. I left her, needless to say. Mind you, she had been my gynecologist for over 10 years by now. I left her. She pissed me off to the highest level for so many reasons, but that was like the final straw. Okay, so I called my primary care physician. She brought me in. She did a pelvic ultrasound. She had to give me IV. By the time I got to her that Monday, I was messed up. The pain was excruciating. I'm like, oh my God, somebody got to help me. Literally, I was sitting in my bathtub crying, and my mom was like, we got to do something. So my primary care physician brought me in. My mom went with me because she was going to have to give me some medication. I couldn't drive or whatever. So I went in and she did a pelvic ultrasound, and I had a cyst, ovarian cyst, that had ruptured on my right ovary, and my pelvic had fluid and all this other stuff. So she was like, that's really painful, and she gave me some medication. She gave me like 3 shots in her office. And then she sent me home. She was like, stay off your feet. Don't go to work, for a couple of days, whatever. Okay, fine. So I got through that. So around about that Wednesday, I'm like, okay, I've been off work for 2 days. I'm ready to go back to work. I'm going to get up on my feet or whatever. So I went to work, and the pain went from being cramping to pressure. Like, I always describe it like if someone feel a water balloon and just squeeze it, and you know how it pulsates? That's what I had in my lower abdomen over where my ovaries are. So I'm like, oh my God, something is wrong. This is not normal. Something is wrong. So I went to my gynecologist. This was before I left her. I went to my gynecologist, so I hadn't left her then. I went to my gynecologist. I'm like, listen, Dr. Eljandy is saying something. I had an ovarian cyst rupture. Here's the ultrasound, blah, 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 blah. She was like, yeah, you had a cyst that ruptured. We can see the rupture, all this other stuff, and we need to do this and we need to do that. Okay, fine. So mind you, that is in August. My gynecologist took me through so many changes just to try to figure out what was wrong with me. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I did not get operate after they ruled out everything. I'm talking about STDs and all kind of stuff, which I've never had an STD in my life. I don't sleep around. That's nasty. AIDS is real. So, but I'm gonna let you do the test because anything can happen. I mean, I was sexually active. Even if I was with one person, hell, I don't know what the hell he was doing. You know what I'm saying? I know what he tell me, but whatever. So I did all the tests or whatever. Everything was perfect. Everything was normal. I had more ultrasounds than any woman should ever have. I had ultrasounds, pelvic ultrasounds, everything. So finally, after a year and a half, she decides we need to do surgery because I'm really 80% positive that you have endometriosis. I'm like, what? And like most of you, I never heard of endometriosis. What the hell is that? So I went home, me being me, and researched it and looked it up. Okay, it seemed possible, but I'm like, I don't know. My periods have always been off. They've never been regular. I started my cycle when I was 11 years old. Never been regular. Never had a normal menstrual cycle ever unless I was taking birth control pills. So, needless to say, I had the surgery. After surgery, she found a few what she called suspicious spots. They were bleeding, so she did whatever she was, gonna do for it. After surgery, she was like, we're gonna begin to treat you for endometriosis. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start Lupron. Keep in mind, at this time, I didn't know what endometriosis was. I had never heard of it. I know what I had read. I had no knowledge about Lupron. None. So she was like, it can do, make your balls brittle. So you have to be careful in this, that, and the third. So I took the Lupron shots. Utter hell. I have never been, it was horrible. I was hot. I was sweating. I would wake up and my bed would be wet. It was just awful. Awful. Lupron was the biggest mistake of my life at that point. Because I've made more mistakes with endometriosis, like the Mirena IUD, which that's another. Anyway, biggest mistake of my life at that point was the Lupron shot. Oh my God, it was horrific. And to add insult to injury, it did not help me. It did not stop the pain. It did not stop the pressure. The only thing it did was stop my cycles, my menstrual cycles. But it didn't stop the pain. And I was living in hell. Vaginal dryness, sex drive was gone. It was absolutely, unequivocally impossible for me to have sex, be aroused, anything. It was gone. Impossible. And what's crazy is I did it for 9 months. It's like the light should have went on and said, okay, this is not working. But my doctor kept saying, give it another month. At every shot I would go get, she would say, give it another month, give it another month, give it another month. It's going to kick in. After 9 months, I had enough. It's not going to kick in. It's not going to work because it hasn't worked thus far. So, excuse me. Oh, I stopped the Lupron shots. I went through every birth control pill there is known to man. I have done physical therapy for my pelvic floor. I have been on antibiotics in case a bacteria or something worked its way up to your fallopian tubes. I have had ultrasounds, histopeniograms, CAT scans, you name it, I have had it. All dealing with endometriosis. It was a nightmare. I finally got with a gyno, Dr. Amy Tanasia in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, who was radical. She would do anything. I loved her. And I was scheduled for a second surgery to go in and try to remove some more or see what stage I had moved on to. At the time when my first gynecologist found it, I forget the stage. I forget the stage. I think it was 2. And then when I got to Dr. Tanasia and we were gonna, do another surgery, I relocated to the state of Georgia. And I began my endometriosis battle in the state of Georgia. And it has been hell. It is horrible that doctors take you through so many changes to give you treatment. And I am the type of patient where I bring all of my records, all of my documents, all of my ultrasounds. I already have release forms signed, everything. I'm ready because you only get 30 minutes or so with a practitioner. So I'm ready. I'm ready to maximize my moment with you, get the highest possible treatment I can get in that moment, help you to understand me. I need to get a feel for you. You need to get a feel for me so that we can figure out if we can work together and get my quality of life back. I've lived in the state of Georgia for 5 years, 6 years. And I have seen 1, 2, 3, I've seen 6 gynecologists. 6. And we'll be seeing a new specialist on Monday. It's ridiculous. It is utterly flipping ridiculous. The only success I have had in Georgia has been pain management with a doctor named Dr. Barenhout. And that took 4 spinal injections before he hit a nerve that helped me for a couple of months. So in the 8 to 10 years I've been battling endometriosis, I've had 2 months. 2 months of freedom where it didn't hurt. People do not understand what endometriosis is. They don't understand the catastrophic nature that it can have. They don't understand. But it is our goal to raise awareness and help people understand what it's like for us to live with endo. But anyway, guys, this video has been long enough. Thanks for watching. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in another video. And I'll give more details about my story. It's a lot I left out, but that's the story in a nutshell. So, see you later. Bye.